Well, let's go into the book. So those that didn't catch our last interview, we've really got four. Do you call them four principles?
The four sort of elements of capacity building.
So if you don't mind, let's just kind of review those at a high level. And I don't know if you've done this before, Bob. If you want to, I could kind of see a cool dynamic. We just had Jocko out at one of our triad experiences, and he's rolling out this new mirror. And when you were talking about book one, Elevate,
Yeah.
the mirror at the bottom is going to say problem identified. And I was like, that's a perfect Jocko product. You're
Yeah.
looking in the mirror, problem identified. So I feel like your
Pretty
first
funny.
book, Elevate, was problem identified, individual, like let's work on myself. Now this
Yeah.
one's looking out. So could you do kind of a comparison and contrast? Like, here's how this worked individually. Here's how it applies to team. If you're open to it. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's the framework you usually teach in.
Yeah. So let me go through the four capacities. So there's spiritual capacity, intellectual, physical, and emotional. So spiritual, let me tell you how I define them in Elevate first, because I think that would be helpful. So spiritual capacity is about understanding who you are, what you want most, and the standards you want to live by. Intellectual is about how you improve your ability to think, learn, plan, and execute with discipline. Physical is your health, well-being, and physical performance. And emotional is how you react to challenging situations, your emotional mindset, and the quality of your relationships. So, I talked a lot in Elevate, kind of how you would work across those things. In an organization and Elevate Your Team, in the context of spiritual capacity, this is how do we help our teams identify their core values, their strengths, the things that they are innately good at? Because if we believe that they're going to develop into level 4, level 5 leaders, as Jim Collins would say, they're only going to do that from a place of authenticity and sort of self-awareness. They're going to be like a leader who actually understands what's important to them. And these things run really deep, having done the core value stuff about why people value certain things. Like, it just is who they are. You could have standards for your leaders across the organization, but they're not going to be kind of a carbon cutter person. So talking about how to do that and how to give people that awareness so that they can develop into the best version of a leader. Intellectual goes a lot into how does the organization build a culture of learning, and feedback and learning go super hand in hand. And how does it promote like best practices around discipline and time management and prioritization and things that are holistic, that actually, particularly when you're working from home and you're the same person, would make you a better spouse, partner, child, otherwise, as it would an employee. Because look, your morning routine matters for your business performance. If you get up late, smash off the alarm, you're exhausted, you rush into a meeting, you're terrible at, financial management, like, not like you're going to get to work and all those things are going to be kind of clicking in all forms. So again, what are these sort of, how do we make our personal operating systems better and do that holistically? Physical, since everyone started working from home and remotely, we have lost a lot of the last remaining boundaries in work around being able to turn work off, have a life outside of work. So how do you create these boundaries? How do you reestablish them? I can get back to later, like some specific tactics and examples. I think we need to do that, because how do we get people focused on outcomes and not hours? There's a case study of Marissa Mayer in the book, Taking Over at Yahoo, sort of an anti-case study of just coming in and bragging about 130 hour work weeks, like everyone working to death and no tangible results from any of that, and a culture that was just spinning its wheels. Did 53 acquisitions that were all worthless after 5 years. Having done 4 in 2 years, I don't even know how you do 53. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
And then the last is emotional capacity. And again, the organizational version of this, I think, for a lot of companies, how do you have psychological safety? How do we take the things we know about ourselves and make them available to others to understand people's different communication styles and elsewhere? How do we get our teams focused on the things that really an orientation around what they control, not what they control, but sort of as a team? This is where it becomes cultural, right? If you're someone who focuses on the external locus of control, that's you, not internal. But we were talking about this before, like very common in sales teams. There's sales teams I've seen where the culture is like, we never lost a deal that was our fault. Like, it was, we got screwed by the client, we got screwed by the competitor, we got screwed by this, like that. Like, that's a cultural thing that you allow to exist in your organization. So organizations that are psychologically safe, where people feel free to challenge each other, where there's vulnerability, where there's sharing, where there's like, hey, we screwed this up. Like those are the ones that improve rapidly. But that's a cultural thing that you need to develop within a team or within an organization.